What's up, mortgage coach community? I am pumped. I'm interviewing for the first time Ryan Wise. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good. By the way, I dig your last name, Wise.
Oh, thank you.
Has anybody ever asked you if you were wise?
Oh yeah, my friends call me they call me wise guy.
I love that. I love that. Well, I do know that you're wise because you're a badass mortgage coach, and I do know you're wise, not just as a last name, because I was speaking at your company sales rally this upcoming week, and Ty Kearns, your leader, I'd asked him, like, hey, who are some really good mortgage coach success stories that you think if I brought them on stage, they would really move the needle to advice versus price? And like, he passionately raved about, hey, this guy's new, this guy gets it, this guy's doing all the right things, and you're winning in this market. So congrats on that.
Thank you, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your backstory. How long have you been in the business? What market are you in? How are you doing? Like, fill us in.
Yeah, so I've been full time in the business about 9 months now.
Oh,
I was getting licensed. Yeah, I was getting licensed while I was finishing up my undergraduate degree, and then finished that up, went full time just at the end of December last year. I had it's been obviously a challenge this whole year. I think everyone's kind of feeling it. But I was able to, I had my best month last month, and mortgage coach is, it's just unparalleled with what you can do to not only just show, hey, here's what I'm going to do for you, but just visualize and plan out long-term goals. And it's really helped me win when I have people on the fence, and it just allows me to kind of change people's perception, and just visualize things that you might tell them over the phone, but they won't understand it clearly until you can actually show it to them, and it's kind of tangible.
So I love a couple of things you said. So guys, listen in. Ryan came up with this headline. I told him I wanted to interview him just to help prep for bringing him on stage, so I know a little bit about his story. And we're giving value back to all the loan officers out there. Some of you might be new and you might be inspired by this. Some of you might be mentoring new loan officers, and this would be a great story to get them fired up. But I liked how you said digitize this, because I've got this thesis that the real world, like a couple of years ago, used to mean in person. And I have this theory that the real world today, yes, it's physical and in person, but it's also digital. And there's just this complete blurring of what the real world is. And it is digital. You got to digitize advice. So when did you start using Mortgage Coach, and why did you start using it when you got after it?
I started using it the day I started working. My regional VP, Jeff Tumeyer, shout out to Jeff. He basically just told me, use this, it's an essential tool. And I kind of come from an information systems background in college, and so these platforms like this are kind of intuitive to me. And so I started using it, and it took me a while to learn it, but once it clicked, it was off to the races.
Awesome, man. Well, I love that. And then how are you doing from a production standpoint? Like, what kind of volume are you doing?
I did 1.4 last month. This month is a little dry, and I got 4 underwritten approvals sitting in the pipeline. They just need to find a property.
Yeah, well, welcome to the mortgage business, and fall of 2022. But hey, to be doing this new and to have a month of over $1 million. I mean, there are some very successful, seasoned people that are just in a drought. So I think hearing that, hey, you're brand new to the business and you're still, very successful, I think it's inspiring. So why did you pick this headline? I said, hey, what did you want to talk about? And you wanted to talk about how you're changing people's perspective. What was it that triggered that for you?
So it was, so this, I had this specific case where I had a borrower text me after, we'd gone through the pre-approval, and he texted me and said, hey, I'm not going to buy, I'm going to wait a year, and just let the market cool off. And so I created this TCA for him, sent it to him a few hours later, and I used the reinvestment analysis to show him how he could not only get into a home and how he could be creative on, seller buy downs and whatnot to get him in there, but how he could use that home and leverage it to create wealth for him long term. And the minute after he opened it and watched it, I got a call from him, and he changed his mind. He said, "Hey, that was awesome. I'm ready to go," and we're moving forward with him in a couple of weeks here. So it went from a year of waiting to I want to make a move next month.
So let's show it to us, man. So anybody out there have a fence sitter that wants to wait a year, or wait a quarter, or wait 6 months? Let's see how Jeff handled that.
So essentially, this is how I broke it down to him. This first scenario on the left here, this just showed him with where he's at, par rate, everything like that. This is where we could get him. And then this, by doing a seller buy down, buying down the rate almost 2 points, we can get him somewhere that's $50,000 more expensive, and he's saving, give or take $100 a month on the payment with the home that's $50,000 more expensive. And then you can kind of break it down to where, okay, where do we get that same monthly payment at the same rate? And when you say it's like taking $65,000 off the sticker price to get you to that same monthly payment, it's a mind changer. And then $400,000, normal terms without doing any of the crazy strategy, he's saving $450 a month there. And then what the real zinger was I kind of pitched to him this idea. He's a younger guy. I said, hey, why don't you, and he was already planning on doing this, but you're moving into a 3-bedroom house, you're in your 20s. Let's say you rent out the other 2 bedrooms, a 3-bedroom house for $600 a month. Then we're looking at, this is what your net worth will be in 5 years. By taking that money that he's getting from the rental income and just placing it into an investment vehicle, with a conservative return. And that idea was what really, really got him excited and off the fence when he saw what he could have in both equity and just by investing some of his money from this, quote unquote house hacking strategy. It really got him pumped up. Oh, you're muted. You're on mute.
By the way, guys, did you notice the use of house hacking? And this is a first time home buyer, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to show you a couple of moves, because being as new as you are, you can probably get some ideas.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody could get ideas. The ideas I'm going to share came from some interviews that I've done recently, but that was super powerful, man. And Ryan did share a link to this total cost analysis. So if you're watching this in YouTube, I'll put a link to it down below. I noticed that you have a video connected to it. What percentage of your total cost analysis are you adding a video to?
Every single one. If it's going to a client, then there's a video with it. And this one, because with the first time buyers and the people who haven't gone through this before, you can see it's a bit of a long video, 20 minutes. But the videos, I mean, you can look at this and have no idea what it is. I think that the videos are just imperative in really, really getting the message across and getting the information across, because this looks pretty, but without the explanation, I think it's difficult for the client to understand. So video is 100% non-negotiable on anything that's going out to clients.
You the man. I like that word, non-negotiable. You're following your mentor's advice. So guys, if you have questions, whether you're watching the recording, we'll get those questions answered, put them below. Or if you're watching this live on Facebook right now, I'm going to check questions in just a minute. Anything else you want to show us on this TCA before we stop sharing the screen and talk about a few other things?
Let's see. Not much. I mean, I think I pretty much covered it all. Okay. I think using the seller buy down strategy, especially right now with all the price reductions, is awesome. Shout out to Scott Nicholson, is the one who showed me how to structure it like this. He's awesome.
So guys, Oh,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was going to do a little extra shout out to Scott Nicholson, but go ahead.
I was just gonna say Scott's awesome and really got, kind of that on my radar, the whole seller buy down thing. And that's been helping me win over a lot of people and at least keep them engaged, showing them that, we have options, and especially the realtor partners as well, showing them that, there's more than one way to do this. And it's really is a benefit to the client, especially now.
Cool. Well, hey, stop sharing your screen. I want to show mine for a second. And I love that. So I interviewed Jeremy Boursier last Monday, actually, and it was called Date the Rate, Marry the House, Divorce the Rent. I don't suppose you saw that video, did you?
I watched like the first 30 seconds of it, but before I got on here, because I
know you were just getting
ready
right away. Well, make sure you finish watching it. And here's how he handled that conversation. Now, first thing he wants to do is he wants to, get a consumer first, especially first-time home buyers, which is the hottest market out there. Get to understand that, you know what, the rate is temporary. Yeah, rates are high right now. So you notice on the far right, he's putting a future rate because that rate is going to be lower someday. We don't know when it's going to be lower, but rates go up, they go down, it'll be lower someday. And then he married the house, and he was really able to make the case that, hey, it's a pretty good market, especially compared to the last couple of years, where you could get sellers to actually buy down your rate, or you could do a 2-1 buy down. So unless you think a housing crisis is coming, which most people don't think that's the case, you could make that case that date the rate, marry the house. And then tell me what you think of this. He did a second TCA because this was a first-time home buyer. They were renting, and he really made the long-term case of home ownership. So like, I'm going to click on this, and you'll see, of course, Jeremy puts a video on everything. And this is where he's able to really make a case that, this doesn't show net worth, which, by the way, this could be a net worth calculation, but he's showing principal paid versus equity built up over 15 years. Typically, I would recommend that you show the net worth in the bottom right, but every conversation is different. So I guess, what are your thoughts on that strategy of kind of doing a 2 TCA, teach one concept with one total cost analysis and teach another concept with the next one? What are your thoughts?
I think that's great. And breaking down the rent versus buy is clearly, obviously for those first time buyers, is when they see it in front of them, like just like that was presented. They almost want to smack themselves upside the head, it's like, oh, why have I been renting this long?
You do a lot of rent versus owns for your clients.
Yeah.
Would you mind when we do the on stage conversation, let's show this specific TCA, and then let's also show a rent versus own. Would you mind forwarding one over to me?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that.
Okay, now let me ask another question. I wrote this new loan officer playbook. Were you aware of this in our blog?
I don't think so. I actually remember seeing something about it, but I haven't dived into it.
Okay, well, I'm going to recommend you read it. Tell me what you think of this scripting. One of the things that, and I'm sure when you first got into business, you called a lot of the people that you were going to invite to your wedding, or all your friends and family. Was that one of your approaches when you got into the business?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about this script right here? Is to literally, for any new loan officers that are listening to this, all of this is in our playbook. If you called every single person you rented and saying, hey, I need your help. I'm a new loan officer and I need to practice my rent versus own analysis. Do you mind if I practice on you? I just need to ask some questions. And that way, one, a new loan officer is getting to practice the conversation, practice creating it. And my guess is if you did this, you'd probably get some first-time home buyers. What are your thoughts on that script?
Oh, I think that's great, and I've used that line several times. It's perfect. It gets you in the door, and
well, you've done that. Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And more likely than not, if you do it correctly, they're going to be impressed. You could come in with the setting low expectations and then over deliver.
Love that. Now, what about this script? The other piece of that is all the people that Our homeowners, you call them and you say, hey, same thing, I'm new, I need your help. I need to practice my move up analysis. Do you mind if I practice on you? And then you put together why buy now, cost of waiting, some type of a strategy that helps them see whether or not moving up makes any sense, or when moving up would make sense. Have you tried that one?
I haven't tried that one, but I'm going to now.
All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Any advice you have? Because I know you're new, but whether it's talking to all loan officers or you're just, want to give advice to new loan officers, I'll let you kind of pick which person you want to talk to, but any closing thoughts on advice to new or experienced loan officers?
I can, definitely relate to the newer guys more because I'm one myself. One thing is, remove timeline, take care of people, and if you're not using Mortgage Coach, you're doing something wrong.
I like that. If you're not using Mortgage Coach, you're doing something wrong. So that was my favorite piece. So let me see if we got any questions coming in. Here's one. People want to know if there's any books that you've read, anything you're following, anything you're doing that's helping you. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, a lot of these are pretty mainstream, so probably heard of them. But Atomic Habits is an amazing book, especially for newer people getting into a business like this where it's all about discipline, and you don't have people peeking over your shoulders. If you want to get out there and make money, you got to do it yourself. No one's going to help you. So that book I would highly recommend just for building good habits. That's what the entire book's about. And then going back to the kind of removing timeline, and I think this is a huge issue with newer guys, especially around my age this day, is instant gratification. We want something now. We're not okay with waiting for things. And in this day and age, information is available within 30 seconds, pretty much anything you could want in our pockets. And instant gratification is just a normal thing. And so this book, it's called Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet. You can read it in 2 hours, but it's a really, really good book on instant gratification versus long-term and seeing those results.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to have to add them both. And I just realized this book list is there's a few more books that I need to add to it. So I'm going to tell my team to get these books added, but I do want to remind you on the new loan officer playlist, I've got some must read books for new loan officers. I will add Atomic Habits and Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet. But these are, 13 of the books that I recommend, all new loan officers just put on the reading list. Can you see these? I'm just curious if you've read any of these books yet.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. Actually, yeah, Ty Kern. When I first got into the business, that was the first thing he told me to do, was to read that book.
Go Ty, a little shout out to Ty.
Yeah, and that book is awesome. I apply lessons to it. If you're gonna read it, follow the notes or follow the instructions, read each chapter twice, annotate the book so you really get everything in depth, and that book is awesome. And I've started Think and Grow Rich. Haven't finished it yet. I just started it.
All right, cool. Well, there's a few more books to consider on your journey. So Ryan, hey, I really appreciate you taking time to prepare for what we're going to do later in the week in Denver, but also just appreciate you being a leader in this space and being a leader with Mortgage Coach. Great job on the beginning of your career, man.
Thanks so much. Kind of feels weird to be on here after watching 100 of your webinars. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I want to help the next generation. And another message I have to not the next generation, but all you seasoned loan officers out there, guys, it's never been a better time to bring new people into the industry. They don't have the expectations of the past 2 years. They're just grateful for the opportunity, and the mortgage business is the greatest industry out there. I mean, like we are our own competition. So if you're not mentoring a new loan officer, it's time to mentor. Either find someone starting in the company that you can mentor, or go bring someone in the industry. It is, I think it's a fabulous time to bring new people in. So anyways, great job, Ryan. See you in a couple of days, brother.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Hey, if you got value from this, give it a like, share it with your mortgage friends, and make sure you're following the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. Take care, everybody.